Okay, I have some thoughts and some questions. And this is a video because I don't know how or the capabilities of doing just, well, I guess I could do just a voice message, but I have to touch it and hold it, and I'm doing something. So these are some thoughts that came to mind after some conversations I had with some single women. Okay, so what they were saying. And I have heard these sentiments often, but more so again by women, is that marriage, Christians don't make marriage look good. Okay, so basically saying, what is the appeal of marriage? And as I think about that question, it makes me think about a couple things. One of those things is, as ambassadors of Christ, and marriage is a picture of Christ and his relationship with the church, are we supposed to be representing marriage in a way that it looks appealing? Should it look desirable by the way that we as Christians operate in it? So that's my first thought and question, right? And it would go the same with the Christian life if you're unmarried. Am I supposed to be making this life look appealing, enjoyable, something that I want others to partake of? Should and of course, I'm not going into the details of how, but more so, that's a question, right? Is that a thought also that married couples have as they engage with each other in private and in public? But yeah, so also, and if not, if it's not about, oh, it don't matter if it look appealing as long as it makes you holy, is that a reality? And again, I would apply the same thing to the Christian life. It doesn't matter how it looks as long as you are pursuing holiness. So it could look any kind of way, and as long as you see God and are pursuing holiness, that's all that matters. This is questions, right? And so if it does matter how marriage looks, authentically, mind you, what should it look like? And not just look, right? But like the conversation was, I've talked to people, and out of all the people I know, like legit conversation, I may know one or two people who have a marriage that I'm like, I may want to do that. Now, this is not my sentiments personally, just to be clear, because I'll say this, I have come to realize that as much as someone else their marriage can look good, that still doesn't mean it's for me. And so my questions personally around even those questions would be, they can make it look beautiful, lovely, wonderful, and something that you want, but should I be desiring should I be desiring marriage because you make it look good? Again, these thoughts are coming out. That's why I'm doing this video right now. Should I desire marriage because, man, they marriage look really good, like I want to do that? The reality is I may not have capacity. I may not, there's so many things in my mind that goes on, but let's just say should I look at your marriage and say, I want to do that? I want to be in a situation like that. Or no, I think I want to do that. Or should it just be an inner call apart from anybody else's marriage, and say, I want to do this because God says marriage is this, and it doesn't matter how anybody else's marriage looks. It could be both and, right? But I was just thinking about that. If we're talking about our relationship with Christ and how it represents the world, and we're God's hands and feet, and we're ambassadors, and all this, it's like, what actually should I be desiring when I say I want to be married? What does that look like? Because it seems to be surrounded by sex, which I think is a good desire to be married. But, and also my assumption with this particular passage, the one that said when like someone becomes a widow young, and they're like, hurry up and marry because Satan's gonna try to get at you. What all that can mean, I don't know. Is it that? So definitely have thoughts and questions about that. But it's like those are kind of like the encouragements in terms of marriage, other than procreation. And so then my question is, okay, well, what if sex is not really something I'm into? Should I not want to be married? Can I just marry somebody that I'm really good friends with, and let that just be the establishment of our marriage? Does there have to be romantic interest in a marriage for it to be the way it's supposed to be? God's intendedness. Those are some of the thoughts that I had like burning in my mind, that I really was like, wait, so yeah. Are you supposed to make marriage look good? Again, genuinely. Because if your marriage is not, if your marriage is unhealthy and not in a good place, I think it's important to say that as well, so that people are not looking at you as an example in those moments necessarily. Or like if like I'm not healthy at a time, right? Personally, don't look to me in my sickness as something to aspire to. More so look at how I'm working on my body, changing my diet, taking my meds, whatever I need to do to get healthy. And that analogy is kind of a question as well. Like, does that make sense? Is that a good thing or not? Those are my main questions right now. I'm just gonna leave it at that.